1880, a year etched in the memory of the West. The air crackled with change. The buffalo, once a sea of life, were fading. Their bones littered the plains, stark reminders of a vanishing world.
In the heart of this changing landscape, a group of hunters gathered in the shadow of the Black Hills.
They sought one last grand hunt, one final encounter with the thunder of hooves and the dust of a stampede. They were driven by different desires. Some craved profit, others legacy. All were bound to the fading spirit of the Wild West.
There was the Knotman, a grizzled veteran of countless hunts. His hands, calloused and strong, were as familiar with the feel of a rifle as they were with the lay of the land.
Beside him stood Melissa Mendini, her eyes as sharp as the hawk she carried on her shoulder. She had traded a life of comfort in the East for the untamed beauty of the frontier.
Old Tracker Drummond Duer, his face a roadmap of time spent under the western sun, joined them. His knowledge of the buffalo was as vast as the sky above.
Big Lee Watkins, a mountain of a man with a booming laugh and a heart as big as the open range, was eager to prove himself.
Bone Crusher Smith, his face hidden behind a thick beard, was as silent and deadly as the mountains themselves. Sahara Knite, a man of few words and even fewer smiles, carried an air of mystery. And then there was Ginger Lynn, her fiery spirit matched only by the color of her hair, as wild and untamed as the land itself.
They were a mismatched bunch, drawn together by fate and the allure of the buffalo. Little did they know their destinies were about to be forever intertwined with the fate of the West.
The air was thick with anticipation, the silence before the storm. The hunt was about to begin. Fort Hayes, a town forged from wood and iron, stood as a sentinel on the edge of civilization. The air buzzed with the energy of the coming hunt. The streets teemed with hunters, traders, and fortune seekers, all caught in the whirlwind of the moment.
The Knotman and his companions arrived with the setting sun. The golden light cast long shadows, painting a picture of the fleeting beauty of the West.
They rode into town, a symphony of creaking leather and jingling spurs. Their arrival didn't go unnoticed.
Whispers followed them like dust devils, carried on the wind. These were not greenhorns, but seasoned hunters, their reputations preceding them.
The air hummed with a mixture of respect and apprehension.
The Knotman, with his quiet authority, led the way. Melissa, her hawk perched on her arm, scanned the crowd with an eagle's gaze. Old Tracker Drummond, his eyes twinkling with wisdom, seemed to absorb every sight and sound.
Big Lee waved at a group of children, his booming laugh echoing through the dusty street.
Bone Crusher Smith remained stoic, his gaze fixed on some distant point. Sahara Knite, ever watchful, kept to the shadows. Ginger Lynn, her laughter like the tinkling of wind chimes, charmed the locals with her easy smile. They were a force to be reckoned with, a group bound by destiny and the thrill of the hunt. The prairie whispered their names, a prelude to the drama that was about to unfold. The saloon doors swung open, releasing a wave of sound and the scent of whiskey and sweat. The Knotman led his companions through the throng. The eyes of the room followed them, a mixture of curiosity and respect in their gaze.
They had come to outfit themselves for the hunt, to gather the tools of their trade.
The air crackled with anticipation as they made their way to the bar. The Knotman, a man of few words, negotiated the purchase of supplies with a curt nod and a steely gaze.
Melissa inspected the rifles with the discerning eye of a true huntress.
Old Tracker Drummond, his weathered hands tracing the lines of a map, shared his knowledge of the buffalo trails with the group.
Big Lee joked with the bartender, his booming laughter filling the room.
Bone Crusher Smith, ever silent, tested the sharpness of his hunting knife. Sahara Knite, his eyes like chips of ice, remained vigilant, ever watchful for any sign of trouble. Ginger Lynn, her charm as potent as any weapon, negotiated the purchase of ammunition with a wink and a smile.
The air was thick with the smell of gunpowder and leather. The clinking of glasses and the murmur of conversations created a symphony of frontier life.
The hunters moved with the grace of predators, their every action honed by years of experience. They were ready, their bodies and spirits prepared for the challenges that lay ahead. The hunt was more than just a pursuit. It was a test of skill, a dance with danger, and a journey into the heart of the Wild West. Dawn broke over the plains, painting the sky in hues of gold and crimson. The air was crisp, alive with the promise of adventure. The hunters, their faces etched with determination, gathered their horses, their saddles creaking in the stillness.
They were ready to leave the last vestiges of civilization behind and venture into the untamed heart of the West.
As the sun peeked over the horizon, casting long shadows across the land, they rode out. The horses, eager to be on the move, snorted and pawed at the ground.
The Knotman, his Stetson pulled low over his brow, led the way. Melissa, her hawk soaring overhead, scanned the horizon.
Old Tracker Drummond, his eyes narrowed against the rising sun, followed the ancient buffalo trails etched into the land. Big Lee, his spirits high, sang a boisterous cowboy song that echoed across the plains. Bone Crusher Smith rode in stoic silence, his gaze fixed on the horizon. Sahara Knite, ever alert, kept a watchful eye on their surroundings. Ginger Lynn, her laughter carried on the wind, urged her horse forward with a gentle nudge.
The prairie stretched before them, a sea of grass rippling in the wind. The air was filled with the sounds of nature, the chirping of crickets, the cry of a hawk, the distant howl of a coyote.
As they rode, the land began to change. Rolling hills gave way to vast, open plains, the horizon stretching endlessly before them. They were entering the domain of the buffalo, a land where the wind carried the scent of sagebrush, and the earth vibrated with the thunder of hooves.